the stories, the journey, the wild behind the scenes, and much more. I'm Dave Anthony, and I'm the host of From Garage to Stadiums. What is their legacy? Let's get to the sort of, where does Fleetwood Mac stand in music history? What made them unique? What do you think they'll be remembered for?
I think what made them unique at the time is having, like you say, three strong songwriters who all wrote hits. Having two women in the band that wrote and sang and performed. They weren't secondary, they weren't backing singers. They were performers. Christine McVie was a great piano player. You know, Stevie, they both wrote songs. I mean, Christine McVie wrote more hits than people even realize. I think they'll be remembered for that, but also it's that kind of, it's the transition of the music. It's what they started at and what they became, completely different, but there's this sort of weird thread that runs through it. And, you know, whether that's down to the rhythm section, I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Well, I've tried in this book, but I think there's a unity to everything they did somehow. But I think it crosses boundaries and genres, and a lot of people listening, a lot of musicians now grew up listening to that music, and you can hear it. You can hear it in country music. You can hear it in a lot of folk rock, a lot of pop music. It's there. You can hear Rumours in so much stuff now. It's never really gone out of date. Rumours hasn't dated, you know, and a lot of that, like you say, the Fab Five stuff, it's timeless.
Give me one or two words to describe each member of that classic five lineup. I'll give you the name. You give me the couple words.
Okay.
Mick Fleetwood.
Aristocratic.
Very good. How about we go to John McVie? We haven't talked about him much.
Down to earth.
Christine McVie.
Even more down to earth.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Tortured genius.
That's brilliant. Stevie Nicks.
Fairy queen.
She has got her own contingent of fans that are incredible.
It's extraordinary to see, yes.
All right, Mark, we're now at that point where we've got to choose, our guests choose three lesser known cuts. Everyone knows the hits, but what should we listen to on sort of the backsides or early albums? What are some lesser known cuts?
You mentioned that song Future Games, but you mentioned the Future Games album, the title track of that, which is a Bob Welch song. I heard it again because it's in the Cameron Crowe movie, Almost Famous. And he put it in there. So I think Bob got some money, you know, thankfully. So I would choose Future Games because that's one of these sort of unusual songs that's in the middle between the Peter Green era and the Fab Five era. I'll choose a couple of others, though, from the Nicks, Buckingham era. Things like, I think, Silver Springs, which is a Stevie Nicks song that was left off Rumours. She desperately wanted it on Rumours.
She was not happy about that.
No, she went mad because they took it off and didn't tell her. And she got it put back on the later reissues when they do these box sets. But it's a great song, you know.
That's a brilliant song.
It's a brilliant song. There's also another Stevie Nicks song called Beautiful Child, which is on Tusk. And her songs on that album are really sad. And this is about her having an affair with the Beatles' old publicist, Derek Taylor, who was about 15 years older than her and married. And she had a fling with him and wrote a song about it, but she didn't tell anyone it was about him until after he died. Oh. But it's a great song. There's some really melancholy stuff on Tusk, which I like, and it's one of the albums I really got back into when I was doing this book.
Interesting. Tell us, will Stevie and Lindsey ever get back together in heaven, or maybe hell?
Hell, maybe. She's playing solo. She's doing Hyde Park here in London.
Yeah.
It's been
I saw her last year with my daughter. She was brilliant.
Yeah, I've seen her a couple of times. She's coming back again. I mean, she doesn't need him. If she can still play stadiums, presumably she's still doing big business.
Yeah.
I don't think Fleetwood Mac will go out again now.
Yeah.
Christine McVie died a couple of years ago, and I think they've had their time. So no, I can't see them getting back together again.
Stevie certainly has, the praise of the younger generation, the Taylor Swifts and all these young performers. Absolutely. Love her.
Yeah, she did a track with Lana Del Rey, which is a really good song. Which she's got that. She translates to other generations. She's big fans with Harry Styles. He worships her.
Right.
So it's like she's not. Again, it's that timelessness because she's kind of like she was in the 70s. She's just an older woman now. She never changed.
Yeah.
She never changed. She just grew old and carried on wearing what she was wearing before.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Mark, this has been a real pleasure to have you on the show, and we appreciate it.
Thanks. Hope it's all good.